Hey, it's Rod Bergeron here with you once again, and today we're going to talk about Marionette controllers. How to make a Marionette controller for nothing. This is really going to be the cheap, simple, easy way to do it. It's not going to cost you a thing. Let's get at it. Okay, so if you want to make a Marionette controller, there's lots of ways to do it, but really all a Marionette controller is two sticks. One sits on top of the other, and it has to be in a cross shape like this. You want more back here. This is where your hand will go, okay? Now, there's lots of ways to do this. You can do this cheaply and simply and easily. You can get yourself a stick like this at the hardware store pretty inexpensively, maybe for a couple of bucks. I would suggest that you don't get a square one like this. Don't use a square one, all right? Perhaps get a round one like this. Now this one is made out of a hardwood, so it's fairly heavy. This one right here is made out of a softwood, so it's super light. Like this longer one weighs like a fraction of what this thicker one weighs. But you can certainly get them made out of softwood that are this big. It's very good in the hand, whereas this one here is a little bit too small for the hand. But if you're not holding on to it for hours and hours, it won't make too much of a difference. All right, so think about getting one that's this wide. This is a 1-inch dowel, but get one that's made out of softwood, okay? Now, so what's the cheap, inexpensive way that you're talking about before, Rod? Well, all this has to be for a Marionette controller is two sticks that cross over each other. So this is that cheap dowel that you can get at the dollar store. I think you can get you get a whole container of this stuff for like $1 or $2. But it doesn't even have to be this. You can go out to your yard and get two wooden sticks, okay? It doesn't have to be something super expensive. You don't have to go to the hardware store and spend, you know, $5 on this. This can just be two sticks that cross over. That's all I need for you to do Marionette controller. Okay, so if I was going to cross two sticks over, I'd probably want to measure in the middle of this. So say this was, we're going to measure it. It's pretty much exactly 12 inches. I would take my black Sharpie and I would make myself a mark. Half of 12 inches is 6 inches. So I would just make myself a mark like that. Put the lid back on your Sharpie. Okay, so that's the cross point. It doesn't really make any difference how far out this goes for the purposes that we're going to do this today. So unless you had a specific reason, like you needed the Marionette to bow, you would have to have more length here, or you needed for your Marionette to stand up in a specific way, then you might need more or less up here. A general rule of thumb though is I usually put about 3 inches out here at the front. Okay, so 3 inches at the front will do you perfectly good. Now you need some way to attach this on there. So here's some examples of stuff. You don't want to use masking tape to tape these two together. It's not strong enough. But if you didn't have something else to attach it, you could certainly use duct tape and just wrap a piece of duct tape around there. It just has to be so that the two things aren't going to come apart. I would suggest that you could use things like this, zip ties. Here's some copper wire that I found in the garbage. Here's another little piece of wire I found on the floor. It doesn't have to be anything that's super expensive. So I'm going to try this. And I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to go around that way one time and then back around this way another time. So you can see I just crossed it over there. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to twist it together. That's it. Okay. If you had enough, you could wrap it back up here one more time. Put it together like that. Okay, that's it. Now you don't want these little pieces, you can see that on camera I hope. You don't want those little pieces hanging out like that. So I would suggest that you take a pair of pliers or wire cutters, and just cut that off, and then just sort of fold that over So it's not a sharp thing that's sticking out that's going to hurt you. Okay. And that's it. That's all you need to do for a marionette controller. You can see how this is fairly strong on there now. It's not going to come loose. You could probably pull it out if you wanted to, but don't. That's all you need for a marionette controller. Now, of course, if you were making one and you wanted to make it, you know, look a little bit better, you would use this, okay? And if you use this, you could take these little eye hooks and you could put little eye hooks. You see those little eye hooks, right? You could use these for tying your strings on. So you could put one in each of these three corners, okay? So one there, one there, one there. This is going to be the connection for the head. But this would be for the arms, right leg, left leg, head would be on here. So if you want to, you could take those little eye hooks and put one on each one of the corners. This is where your hand's going to go. If you don't want to do that, I'm just going to tie them on for this particular example. So we're not going to, we're going to do this the down, dirty, cheap and easy way. So we're going to just tie these on this time. Okay. So that's it. That's all you need to know for a marionette controller. I have other videos and I'll put a link up above for making a more extensive, more elaborate marionette controller. If you learned anything from this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're currently a subscriber, I thank you very much. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can get all the rest of these videos that I have coming up about marionettes. I thank you very much. See you again next time.